What's going on? We back for another episode of Getting Buckets. My guy Marlon is back joining us today. A lot of basketball topics. We're also going to talk about the Ravens because my guy Marlon is here, so he wants to talk about his Ravens. But a
Yeah.
lot of basketball for the most part. But before we get on into it, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, make sure y'all share. Make sure y'all tuning in. Other than that, let's get right on into it. Marlon, how you feeling?
Good, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, about damn time.
Yeah. My
Yeah,
bad.
that boy be lagging it for y'all that don't know. That dude
My
will text
bad.
me and be like, "When we shooting the pod, give me a day," and then just won't respond on the day he told me he wanted to do it. What's wrong with this guy?
Hey, my bad, bruh.
What's wrong with this guy? But nonetheless, we got him here today, so we gonna get into this. Let's start right in, man. We in the thick of the NBA season, man.
Mhm.
What you've seen so far, what team do you think has been your biggest NBA surprise or player or whatever? What was your biggest NBA surprise of the season so far?
I went for teams and honestly, like, surprised, I'll say the Pistons and the Spurs considering, like well, not more so the Spurs for
You
me,
get one.
honestly.
You get
Huh?
one. Is it the
Alright, the
Pistons or the
Spurs.
Spurs? You get one.
Considering how fast they got like, they're already this good this fast, I think that's what's surprising about them. Um, and yeah, like I don't think maybe they won't win, maybe they will. I don't know, but they're very young, but it's surprising how talented they are this early on as a team.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing was can Wemby get healthy? Once Wemby get healthy, like, bro, dude's an alien. You knew at some point
Yeah.
whenever he got healthy, the Spurs were gonna be good. I'm not sure if I'm shocked by like how good they've been. Like we saw it like again, we saw it in stretches when Wemby was healthy. I do think necessarily their record because I think they're 42-16, like sitting here right now.
Yeah. That's what I
So them
honestly
being
meant by I like their record is it's crazy, you know?
Yeah,
That's
I think they have the 3rd best record in basketball. Um, so I understand from that standpoint. I do wonder in the playoffs, how's that gonna work? I think they're a
mhm.
team that in the regular season, they're a very aggressive team, but I don't know how their offense now, Wemby doesn't have to do this every night because of he's getting other help. He's getting help outside of just his scoring during the regular season. But in the playoffs, when teams really lock in and everybody's playing 48 minutes of hard, tough basketball, I do wonder how good can their offense be in a 7 game series against the better teams in the league. Because when you have to play against the Rockets, the Nuggets, the Thunder, these kind of teams, the Minnesota Timberwolves, even the Lakers, and the Lakers are not great defensively. But when you have teams that, as I said in the playoffs, then it's going to come down to everybody's going to make that play. Everybody's going to be diving on the floor. Everybody's going to be physical. How
Yeah.
many what can you guarantee in their offense? Wemby, like as good as Wemby is, um, and this is what year 3 from Wemby. I should like how good do you consider Wemby as an offensive player right now? I don't think Wemby's a top 10, 15 offensive player right now. Like obviously he has that potential to be there, but as of right now, when we talk strictly offense, now you bring the whole package together, what he does defensively, that's what makes him the player he is. When we talk about just
Yeah.
offensively, do you think he can carry them in a 7 game series past these upper echelon teams in the Western Conference?
Yeah, that's a question. Also, like, just the inexperience. Like,
For
they
all of
haven't
them.
been there in what, like 7, 8 years now? They
Yeah,
haven't been in the
they
playoffs.
haven't been in the playoffs
And
since wow.
new coach, new system. It's a new identity for the Spurs. So, yeah, I mean, that's the record. That was the surprise to me. And yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit. Like with Wemby, as long as Wemby's healthy, this team could be a dynasty at one point.
I
And it's going
think
to be a free agency destination that's going to entice guys to go to San Antonio. You know, they want to play with Wemby.
I don't know, man. I still don't think people are gonna want to go to San Antonio. Even when Tim Duncan was there all them years, they didn't really get free
Uh,
agents.
yeah, but they already had like, they had Greg
Well,
Popovich. So like,
they were able to keep their core. They were able to keep
yeah,
Ginobili. They were able to keep Ginobili and Parker. But that's the thing.
yeah,
Can they when time comes up, are they gonna be able to keep a guy like Stephon Castle want to stay there? They just drafted Dylan Harper. We'll see what he becomes. He did get De'Aaron Fox to want to go there, but you're not really seeing too many people clamor to go to San Antonio.
we'll see. a playoff run this year, a deep playoff run, I think that's gonna entice guys to go.
It'll be very interesting. It'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, I think with their young core, they still have draft picks and all that stuff. And with these guys able to blossom, they're gonna be around for a long time. My question is for them this year is I think it's a year too early, similar to like the Oklahoma City Thunder 2 years ago. Like when they came out and they had the
Yeah,
best record in the West and they got bounced by the Dallas Mavericks in the second round when they were, in the regular season, they were a fantastic team. And that's what I in the regular season, the playoffs is so different because I think there's teams that like that, as I mentioned, they always play hard. The Spurs are one of them. And I don't think a lot of teams meet that intensity, especially from jump ball in the regular season. But come postseason, everybody's meeting that jump ball. So, and even teams that are not great either offensively or defensively, a lot of times they're better in the playoffs because everybody's locked in, everybody's focused, and everybody's gonna put that extra effort in that they're probably not putting in game 47 in January. That they're obviously not putting that type of energy in compared to what they're gonna put in the postseason. So it's gonna be very interesting to see. Uh, but that was Marlon's NBA surprise for me. I think it's Con Knippel. Connor Knippel's hooping, and he's a rookie that plays for Charlotte. For those that don't know, um, and when he got drafted, I felt like he was going to be a good, solid player. Like he was going to be one of those, fantastic kind of role players. He's already that as a rookie, one of those, those role players that everybody looks for. He has a chance to grow himself. He's going to smash the rookie 3-point record. So he's shooting the ball that great as a rookie. Just imagine where his game is going to develop, in 2 or 3 years. And he's already able to rebound. He's able to defend. He can pass. He's smart. Like I think he's easily going to be a top 20 player in NBA one day. And so I didn't see that with him coming out of Duke. I thought Cooper Flag was going to run away with the Rookie of the Year, and now it's a legitimate like you can give it to either guy. Obviously, Cooper can get it. He's has less help than Con Knippel has, and still putting up those numbers. But nonetheless, you can't take away from what Con Knippel was doing. So for me, he was my biggest surprise because I did not see this with him coming.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I mean, I haven't catched much fucking Hornets games, so but I mean, just based off, TikTok here and there, I mean, I know he's good, but I gotta catch me a Charlotte game for sure
Oh yeah, you got to
to
tune it.
see.
Look at it. This is his last. I'm just gonna read you his last whatever 10 games or so. 20, yeah, 20, 21 on 7 of 12 shooting, 28 on 10 of 18 shooting, 33 on 11 of 20 shooting, 15 on 5 of 11, 18 on 5 of 12, 20 on 6 of 13, 23 on 8 of 15, 24 on 8 of 13, 17 in 4 of 13 in inefficient game, and 13 points, 5 of 11 shooting. That's what he's doing. And in some of these games, he's got 8 rebounds, 9 rebounds, 6 rebounds. And this is like a guard type of player. Like I don't think anybody saw, these kind of things coming. Let's see, where was he?
Yeah.
I'm trying to see exactly what number he was drafted. For him to be playing the way he's playing, he was number 4. I guess it makes sense. I guess maybe the Hornets saw it coming because the only people went ahead of him was Cooper Flag, Dylan Harper, and VJ Edgecombe. So I guess they saw it coming, but I didn't see this coming out of Duke. Like I said, I thought he'd be a very good role player, but as a rookie to be as good as he's playing right now, um, it's exceptional. He's playing exceptional basketball.
Yeah. And I mean, he has them in the Hornets are in playing right now, playing contention.
Yeah, the Hornets are hooping. They're actually competitive. They had like a 9 or 10 game win streak earlier this year, 28 and 31, which obviously they're still under 500. But compared to where they've been for the last 10 years, like
Yeah.
uh, being only 3 games under 500 at this point in the season is spectacular for them because they're always 10, 15, 20, 30 games,
Oh, yeah.
below 500 at this point. And right now, they're still in great contention to hoop and be competitive. And obviously, they're in the play-in right now. They're 2 games above Milwaukee, 1 game behind Atlanta for 9. So they're probably going to stay in that range. But this is a year I don't think anybody saw the Hornets doing anything, and so the performance of him to because without him, I think they'd be in that same position that they've been in the past couple of years where they're just picking in the top 5. They're not going to be picking in the top 5 this year. They're probably, I mean, unless the draft lottery, we'll see where that shakes up. But just based off their initial odds, they're going to be maybe 12, 13, rather than being so high because they were so bad. I love the improvement, and a lot of it is thanks to Con Knippel. So that's my NBA surprise. So we talk about a surprise. What about a disappointment?
I mean, for team-wise, I would go with the Clippers, just
I
based on going
also
into
I,
the season,
I also picked
you
the
know?
Clippers.
Going into the season, all the acquisitions they got, the expectations were high going in, and for them to just they were what, 6-21 at one point,
Hmm.
and to see now that they don't have Harden or Zubac or Chris Paul on the roster at this point anymore is if you would have told me that in September, I would have been like, "Bro, what's going on?" Like,
Yeah,
but yeah, to me, they've been the biggest disappointment. Granted, they went on what 18-game win streak. Um,
they
I
didn't
mean,
go
they're
on no
a lot
18
better now.
game win
They're
streak.
playing.
They didn't go
Was it
on an
18?
18 game win streak. They went 15-3 during an 18-game
Okay,
stretch.
15 wins in 18 games, bro. All right, but they're in play-in contention now. They're a little bit better, but yeah, I would say the Clippers based off the expectations going into the season.
Yeah, I also wrote down the Clippers. I just think with the Kawhi Leonard, when he's been on the court this year, which he's been on the court for a large portion of the year, he's playing at he's it, when you just talk about his play alone, I can argue he's been the best player in the world this year. And despite
Yeah,
all of that, they are barely in the play-in tournament right now. And they enter this season with high expectations with Harden, obviously. And you mentioned they don't have Harden, they don't have Zubac. I do like Benedict Mathurin, but there's no big to really continue this. Brooke Lopez at what he's like 38 now. It's
yeah.
not that he's not the same guy.
I think
Um,
I think they trust Yannick a lot though. Like for them to just like keep him, I think they see something in him, and I mean he's pretty good. Like I see flashes, of a good center here and there.
I I don't like if you make this move in the off season. I like to the reason I brought up like Zubac for me. It's not that they traded Zubac; it's that they traded him and they didn't get a big back and they didn't have a big to necessarily replace him this year. Because as you mentioned, they went 15-3 and they started playing better basketball. And I feel like if they happen to get into the playoffs with no big now, they're going home in the first round
Yeah, especially if they face the Nuggets or the Spurs
or the Thunder. The Thunder got two bigs,
or the Thunder, yeah,
which is who
and
they
even
play, which is
and
likely
even maybe
one of
the
the three teams.
Rockets.
And yeah, I mean, the Rockets ended up Steven Adams ended up getting hurt, but they got tons of bigs. And
Yeah,
so for me, it's just like it's not necessarily that they traded Zubac because I like Benedict Mathurin and they got a couple picks, but it's just like now you're throwing away the season, in my opinion. You make this move in the off season, and you can make more trades, or you can sign another center to help on your roster. That makes sense. But
yeah,
now like it's a and Kawhi even said it. They asked him what can this team do to become title contenders. He said, "I think it's a little late for that."
yeah,
I just feel like it's a wash, and that's why to me it's a huge disappointment because yeah, I mean even coming into the season, you didn't think they were going to be 6-21, through what is that 27 games, six and twenty
yeah,
one with Harden with Kawhi. Um, they were playing atrocious basketball. Then they had a good and favorable schedule in December going into January. They played that exceptionally well when they go 15-3 and they continue to play good basketball. I just think it's going to come down to they just are going to come down to a point where and Darius Garland still isn't playing basketball. Um,
he's supposed to be back next week. Or no, yeah,
we'll see.
March
Like
3rd.
Cleveland been waiting for him to come back, and even when he comes back, he ends up missing another 10 games after he comes back. I do think the trade benefits the Clippers because I think they had to get younger. Obviously, they were the Unk squad this year. They had a whole bunch of
Yeah,
old dudes, Garland for the future, Benedict Mathurin, two picks, needing to get younger. Just for me though, when you turn if you make this trade when you're 6-21, I understand it because you feel like you're going nowhere. But after starting 6-21 and going 15-3, and then you make the trade when you're playing good basketball, that's what confuses
yeah,
me.
yeah. I was very confused when they made those trades. I didn't necessarily agree with it, but I understood it. Just based on the direction that where like they want to go for the future. Just because like we didn't have draft picks or draft capital at all for the next couple of years. An older squad. Uh, but yeah, I mean, ultimately, I do like the acquisitions they got in Matherin and the
So,
picks and
so
Garland, and we know how Garland is when he's healthy. So I mean, we'll see where it goes. I mean, we got 2 more months or a month and a half now.
well, I guess as a Clipper fan, you could be optimistic. I think this season is a wash. I think it's dead. But for the future, what do you want to see the Clippers do?
I mean, I love Kawhi, but I think, I mean, what he's got, we've got to part ways with him. I think the direction we're heading towards is a rebuild, and he needs to be on a contending team. So if we could, somehow get a
You're
trade with a team that's contending
so you
for
wanna
some
rebuild
picks.
around Darius Garland?
I mean, not necessarily, but like you got to do something. I don't know.
You don't think there's anything that they can do to fix the roster with Kawhi on it?
With Kawhi on it, I think it's gonna be very hard. Like we're gonna have to give up a lot again, and we don't have, like I said, we don't have a lot of draft capital. Um, our team isn't any young. Like it got younger, but we still got a lot of older players. Maybe like a John Collins trade with like a pick
Mhm.
could get us something nice. But yeah, like
So
it's
you
gonna be
saying
very
go
hard.
full rebuild, get rid of Kawhi? Is that are you gonna build around Garland, or are you gonna retrade Garland again and get more
I
picks and
think
pieces?
I would in my opinion, I would trade Garland again and just see what I could do from there. Like I love Garland as like a second, third piece guy, but I'm not gonna build around Garland, you know?
Yeah. It's very interesting. I don't see it'll be very interesting to see what somebody will be willing to pay for Kawhi because you know what Kawhi's gonna give you when he's on the court. The question is how often will it be on the court?
Yeah.
And he's probably what, 33 now? Oh,
Kawhi?
Kawhi.
Yeah, he's 34, 33.
Yeah. So he's getting older, and when he was younger, he was always hurt. Now he's getting older, so you would assume he's still going to continue to get hurt. Um, so it'll be very like, what would a team be willing to give up for? I don't think a team would be willing to give up like picks and stuff. They might be willing to do like a swap similar to like Garland and Harden. Somebody might
Yeah,
be willing to do that, and you take a young player and a team that feels like they want to go win. Um, could go and get a Kawhi, a team like similar to like what the Rockets did going to get KD. They feel like they're a superstar away, so they get rid of a guy like Jalen Green. Also, Dylan Brooks is in that trade, so maybe that's something. But I don't see a lot of picks being shipped out for Kawhi because I don't think you can bank on that for the next 3 or 4 years, considering his injury history. But
yeah,
maybe you can go and maybe if there's a team out there like the Bucks don't have any young players that I think teams kind of want. But that'd be something because they're probably desperate enough to want to keep Giannis there that they might want to make a move for a guy like Kawhi to pair with Giannis. But I don't think they have a young player that the Clippers would want to swap if they went in that direction.
nah,
Um,
absolutely not.
yeah, what other teams that like are on the cusp would would be willing to do that?
Like, I
Obviously,
don't know, like the Pistons might want a guy like
if
Kawhi.
the Pistons
The
could do it, but
Knicks,
I don't think. But the Pistons, who are you want from the Pistons? I don't think they're going to trade Jalen Duren, and you're obviously not going to trade Cade.
Jalen Duren.
Wait, who?
Jalen Duren.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna trade Duren. You probably have anybody else, but I don't think they're gonna trade Jalen Duren. Now, if you wanted Jaden now, obviously they traded Jaden Ivey, but before they traded him, maybe obviously they would have been willing to give up him and they probably put together, but that's what I'm saying. I don't know if there's a package like to where you're gonna get back um
Probably the Knicks.
what would you want from the Knicks?
Karl Anthony Towns.
I mean, I'm sure they do that.
Nah, it's too late for Karl Anthony Towns to be a Clipper. But
I think if Carl Anthony Towns gets traded, it's only gonna be to one team, and that's gonna be to Milwaukee. So Giannis goes to
yeah,
New York.
yeah, no, I wouldn't do Cat anymore. I'm a big Cat guy, but
I'm not. I think he has all the talent in the world. I just don't I just think some people got talent and then but some people only
yeah,
like to be like when you have to me, and this is how I always use it. If Cat's your third best player, you're fine. If Cat's your second best player, you can't win. And if he's your first best player, you definitely can't win.
definitely he can't. Yeah, I agree. He can't be your best player, but second option, not a bad.
I don't think he can win. I don't think the NBA is too good. You can't win. You're not. I don't think you're gonna have another Dirk run. Um, like you need somebody else. I mean, even Dirk had Jason Terry was playing out of his mind during that playoff run. You need somebody to
Yeah,
come with you. You need somebody to come with you that's gonna be consistently with you at the party. And I don't think Carl Anthony Towns is that.
yeah. I also, I mean, I don't want to cut you off, but I was gonna say the Knicks are my second option for disappointment.
Well, I don't think. Well, for the disappointment will come once the playoffs get here.
Yeah, well, also considering where they are in the East right now, like
Well, I think
they,
they're like third. They're
well,
like
they're
third.
third, but their expectations, like the how they ended season last year, like they ended in the conference finals.
Yeah, but that's
The
what I'm saying.
Pacers,
I think it's more so for them. Like I
eh,
understand what you're saying, but I think I don't think like for at
well,
least
look
for
at the
me.
state of the East right now. Like the Pacers don't have Hallie.
Yes.
The Nick, the the Knicks. The Celtics don't have
Tatum
their Tatum. I mean, the Pistons,
are
nobody
young.
I'll be honest, nobody saw at least I didn't see them being a 1 seed right now,
Yeah, I didn't see
and
a
this
one seed either.
competitive. So, to me, that's, this was the Knicks' year to be, like, that team in the East, in my
But
opinion. So,
but again, I
granted,
think
it's not over yet, but
no, but I get what you're saying, and I agree
yeah,
with you. But I think your point is comes in the playoff, not the regular season.
yeah,
I don't think where they end in the if they end up 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think that matters. It's the playoff. If they get bounced in the first round, that's a disappointment.
yeah,
I think if they finish I think they're third right now. If they finish three, I don't think anybody cares where they finish in the regular season. It's how the play.
yeah.
It's how they play in the playoffs. If
But
they don't get
they should, like, considering how they ended, I'm saying, they should be
yeah.
running the East, like, it's their conference to lose.
Yeah, but the now I do agree they've been up and down, but the regular season, like there's always so many up and down because an injury could take a top team down. That's why to me, I think like and yes, the Eastern Conference is wide open, and that's kind of been the talking point all year long. But I think when we talk about it's being wide open, it's about the playoffs, it being wide open because right
Yeah.
now with
Well,
although
in the East, we've
Harden
seen
just let
teams in the East make the playoffs with, like, a negative record, under
yeah
500.
yeah. But like, and Harden just messed up his thumb. But you got to like, and the West is a loaded monster too. But you kind of feel like there's tiers in the West probably. In the East, like you would say, like everybody has a question mark in the East when it comes to playoff time. Like as good
Yeah,
as the Pistons are playing right now, it's like one, they're inexperienced in the playoffs. Two, who's going to be their second scorer behind Cade consistently in the playoffs. The Celtics, their question is, can they win? Can they go all the way to the finals without Jason Tatum? Most people would probably not.
yeah,
Can now for the Knicks, can the Knicks finally get over the hump? We talk about the Cavs. Can Donovan Mitchell and James Harden figure it out in 30 games? Can they figure it out and ultimately push the Cavs to the NBA Finals? So like that's the conversation. It's wide open. It's anybody. You pick any four of those teams. It's literally like everybody probably got around 25% chance of coming out of that Eastern Conference because each team has a question mark. The West obviously is always a loaded gauntlet because you can go the 1 through 8 in the West arguably can go to the finals depending on the 8 teams that make it. If you talk about the Thunder, obviously the 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 Spurs, the Nuggets, the Rockets, the Wolves, the Lakers. That's six right there. Am I missing anyone? You had the Warriors coming into the season, but now they've had a hella injuries. You had the Clippers also coming into the season. They haven't played as great, but you got all those kind of teams. I don't think anybody like the Suns have also been a shocker. I don't think they'd be as good as they are, but I don't think anybody really has them balling in the playoffs. But one
yeah,
through six, I feel like those six teams I named in the West. Now, granted, like I said, you're probably gonna have tiers. You're probably gonna have OKC and the Nuggets probably in that top tier. Then you have probably the Spurs in that second tier, and you probably have like the Rockets, Lakers, Wolves right after that. Um, so like the West is also open, but you have tiers. I think that Eastern Conference is like it's anybody's guess who's coming out of that Eastern Conference, and that's what I think is gonna make that like that's what's good about the NBA right now. That parity,
yeah.
which kind of leads to like with all that parity, do you think the super team era is dead?
I think so, and I've always been the type of guy to, like, I'd rather have, like, 10 good players than, like, 2, 3, 4, you know? A lot of that goes a long way, like, and that's
Depth.
what you see now in rosters. You see 10 solid guys just rotating. You don't necessarily need a superstar, even though a superstar come playoff time is gonna help you out a lot more. As long as you have 10 solid guys, like, I think, that's the direction the NBA is gonna move towards, and
Well,
we're gonna see more of that.
I think the
And
direction is good. No, go ahead.
well, now, like, there's a lot of minute restrictions now, like, games guys are, to call the load management. There's a lot of guys doing load management, so you're gonna need other guys to step up when your superstars are out, so I think that's and it's safer, safer contracts, GMs like that, it's friendly to the organization.
But don't worry, we'll talk about tanking and load management in a second. But I think the super team era is also dead, and I think it's dead for two reasons. I think one more bigger than the other, and the biggest reason I think is because of the news, like the aprons and all that stuff. It's
Yeah,
impossible to have a championship level roster with three superstars with the way these aprons are set up because you just can't have anybody else on your roster when it's like that.
mhm.
The only way for it to happen was how the Celtics did it, where they made their trades the year before the apron happened, so they were able to make moves and already have guys on their roster. And now it's just a matter of, do you want to continue to pay that high luxury bill or whatnot? And after Jason Tatum's injury, they didn't want to pay that anymore, and they also sold the team.
Uh,
So I think with the aprons, it's going to be impossible. But I think too, kind of to your point, I think now there's always been super teams. There's been super teams since you want to talk about the Showtime Lakers, you want to talk about the Celtics in the '80s.
the
Like
Bulls.
these were all super teams. Um, People like to say LeBron started it. LeBron didn't start it. Um,
Nah, Michael Jordan had a super team too, guys.
yeah, Michael Jordan had a super team. As I said, the Lakers in the '80s, Showtime, that was a super team. The Celtics, we can go on and on about all these super teams. But I think what is key is the duo. You need two guys. That's what's going to win into. You need two guys that can consistently put the ball in the basket, come a playoff series, and you need everybody else to fill out. You typically need a lob threat and some kind of defensive anchor at your center, and then you need 3-and-D wings and guards. That's pretty much the
Yeah,
recipe. You need two bona fide scorers that can get it done. You need a center that can handle the boards, be a lob threat. Ideally, you'd want him to stretch the floor, but we've seen you can win without that. And you need 3-and-D wings. That's the criteria right now to win an NBA championship. And so I think when you see that, you're going to see a lot more teams are looking for depth, and they're looking for those late round steals that blossom into 3-and-D kind of players, as opposed to going out and looking for the third superstar to make the best big three in the game. Instead, you're trying to make the best big two and surround them
yeah.
boys with the best fits for whatever their skill sets are.
And I don't think that's just an NBA thing anymore. It's I think NFL, we're seeing that more. Granted, in the NFL, it's a lot easier, I guess, to
The
like.
the NFL it's almost impossible to have like a super team.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's also a little bit easier to develop players, and or there's more of an abundance of players out there.
Yeah, because for the most part, there's always a weak link either on an offense or a defense or both for a team because you have 11 players you have to play. There's typically, whether it's your quarterback, your running back, maybe it's your left tackle, maybe it's a guard, maybe it's your
Yeah,
second receiver. There's a hole. Whether on defense, you might not have a pass rusher, maybe you don't have a lockdown corner, maybe your backers suck, whatever it is.
yeah,
There's a couple weaknesses that every team can that a team is looking to exploit. In the NBA, you can have a team that literally has no weaknesses. The Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't think they have a weakness. The Denver Nuggets, I don't think they have a weakness. Um, the Just basketball wise, I'm like, some of these teams don't have weaknesses, but I think in NFL, there's always a weakness that you can find to exploit somewhere.
yeah. Well, I think to my point to that was just like it's you're not seeing this in other sports. Probably just only baseball with like
Yeah,
the Dodgers,
but
but
that's no
that's because
salary
like
cap, so that's a no holds barred. You can
yeah,
do whatever you want, which is why I said the
and that's
NBA.
just on the other teams for not
Yeah,
pursuing
absolutely.
guys.
Which is why I said this is a thing where that salad with now if they get rid of the apron, I can see the super team coming back. But as long as the apron is here, I don't see it. I don't see a chance. You see
Yeah, and
the
I
Suns
prefer it this
tried it
way
and it didn't work out.
because you see the smaller market teams succeed more. Like
Hmm.
back then, we were just getting the same teams like Cavs, Warriors,
But
Clippers,
it, it
Lakers.
it's gonna get very interesting though, because while it's helping them these first couple years, it's helping them because now guys just can't get paid the amount of money that they want to, which is why like a guy
Yeah,
like Powell got shipped out of the Clippers when they probably wanted to keep him, but they couldn't pay him because now it's
yeah,
kind of like you pay a guy the max or you pay him nothing. There's kind of that no, it's messing up the middleman. So what's going to be very interesting is like for a team like Oklahoma City, how long can they keep J Dub, Chet, and Shea together? Because
yeah,
while the NBA did it to help teams like that, it's going to hurt them when it comes time to pay those guys.
yeah,
So that's where I don't like these apron rules. And I think they're going to be tweaked a little bit because they're going to hurt teams that draft well and develop well. And so
yeah,
while you help them initially on the back end, you're hurting them because they did all this work to draft all these guys, and now they can't keep them because they won't be able to keep the rest of the roster because they got these three dudes. So now they got to get rid of one guy, which is like, we just talked about a big two, which is what you probably want. But when you drafted well and have this big three, when you did that before, like the Showtime Lakers and the Celtics and whatnot, they were able to keep these teams together for a long period of time. because they could pay these guys and go into the luxury tax, but there was no apron because now in the apron there's if you're in the second apron, you can't sign players or money has to match exactly. You can't even take back not a penny, and all these different things. So it's really going to hurt these teams. Ultimately, I feel like later on the teams that got to pay guys that they drafted will. They like OKC just paid Shea and Chet and J Dub, but we'll see what happens now when it comes time. Now that you got to pay Caruso again and Hartenstein again, because we just talked about you need depth in today's NBA. So now what happens when that depth goes away? Now if they continue to draft well, because they still got a whole lot of picks, so we'll see how that goes. Um, but they're gonna have to get like a guy like Hartenstein. I don't see he's gonna unless these guys just all take a pay cut, which again I don't see. I don't see a way they keep Hartenstein on this roster and Lou Dort and Caruso and Case and Wallace. Like all these guys, other teams are gonna want to pay these guys and they just simply can't pay them all. So um it's gonna be very unfortunate, I feel like, when you start seeing these teams have to from deteriorate and kind of destroy a team that in which they built from the ground up. So we're going to find out in very, very shortly. The next 2 or 3 years, I think these aprons are going to be adjusted,
Yeah.
if not taken
Yeah, I
away
mean,
in full context.
got stripped away Norman Powell because of that, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
It's messing up. It's messing up the middleman. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's messing up the players that are like right in between because like I said, like those role players, like as good as Norman Powell was, it was either you have to pay Norman Powell like Kawhi or you can't pay him at all.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. They're ruining that middle portion. And even guys slightly less than him is obviously screwed even more. A guy like, as I mentioned, a guy like Caruso, a guy like Casey Wallace who's coming up for the Oklahoma City Thunder. These guys can get a whole lot of money. But do you consider them top tier money? I mean, top tier, like are they worth that top tier money? No, but are they fantastic players and guys you need to win a championship? Yes,
Yeah.
and so it's going to be tough. Which is why I also think you see tanking more prevalent in today's game, because it's now you have to have these guys draft. You have to be able to draft these guys early so you can keep them for as long as you can before you have to pay them.
Yeah. I mean, the tanking's always been an issue. Like, and it's never gonna stop. Like, I don't know. There's no like I honestly there's no solution to tanking. But I think the NBA does a good job in that by having the lottery that no
Uh-huh.
team is guaranteed to have, that number one overall pick. But other than that, I mean, tanking's gonna stay forever.
Yeah, taking's been around since the beginning of time. Me personally, I don't have a problem with taking. I personally think it's smart. Now, I think there's a difference between tanking, after you've played after for the NBA, they play 82 games. You've played 60 games and you're, 10 and 50. Yeah, just tank and go get obviously you need a whole lot of help. Go get that
Yeah,
number one pick. It's just smart. And that to me is different than somebody coming into the year and you're in game five and you're resting dudes in the fourth quarter. Now that is different. But and now the players are never going to tank. The players don't do it, but obviously the teams do. The whole guys out, this, that, and the third. But when you've played, 60, you're up to 80% of games played, and you realize we're not going to, we're not even going to get into if we can't get into the play in, why am I trying to win? I'm trying to go and be at the top of the draft so I can get whoever I want.
yeah,
So to me, I don't mind it, and it's also kind of and then it's also kind of paired with the idea of load management. I also don't have a problem with load management either. I think with the way the game is, this is um and what I think is missing a lot of these discussions. The game is not played. They're like players in the 80s and 90s, didn't get hurt as much. The game was totally different. There wasn't as many possessions. They're not running up and down the court, which is why you're seeing more of the, like the soft tissue injuries. You're seeing the hamstring pulls, the calf pulls, because there's much more movement in the 80s and 90s, they're sticking in the paint, just, they're shooting mid ranges. They're getting like you might got a sprained ankle, but you weren't doing all this running and jumping and up and down. The NBA now is all of that. You're finding a matchup with everybody running off screens and this, that, and the third. It's organized chaos the entire time. The NBA 20, 30 years ago wasn't like that, which is why I think you're seeing the uptick in players missing games. And I think it makes sense now. Younger guys, man, they're gonna rock out. That's why I love Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards don't take time off. But as you start getting up there, when these players start getting to year 10, 11, 12, it makes sense that, they if they just play, 15 games in a row, and they're coming off, like 4 games in 5 nights, it makes sense that they might sit out a game when they're getting up in age. Like obviously, a guy like LeBron, Steph, KD, those guys, they're 37 plus. They definitely should not be playing 82 games. But I think as players start to play, and you see the with the way these injuries are coming up, which is due to how the game is played now. I think like while the NBA obviously wants like they want the best players to be on the court so the product looks the best.
Yeah.
Um, I guarantee you they'd much prefer that these players be healthy come the playoffs, and so make sure their playoff ratings are good, than them being healthy in game 47, and ultimately getting hurt in game 48 because they didn't sit down in game 47, and then they missed the playoffs. You'd much rather them in the playoffs than in a random January basketball game.
So, do you think the NBA should shorten the season and
Um,
in order
I
to have you know the superstars out there more often?
uh, let's see. Do I think they?
Like 15 games at least 15.
I think if they want performance to be better, I think they should cut the game down. However, I think the NBA has always been 82 games, so I don't know if you
Because
can I don't know if you can
yeah,
lower it.
like
Now baseball, I think
82 games.
baseball should definitely lower it.
Yeah,
162 is way too damn many.
because also as a fan, who has the time to watch that much?
Yeah,
And even then, I say I love the Clippers a lot, and I love watching basketball, but realistically, nobody has time to watch 82 games of basketball.
I think I think it definitely should be a point of like it should be a thought in the NBA's mind in lowering games.
Because think about this: you lower the amount of games, you also have to play. So you lower the amount of opponents you play too. That I think a lot of players get hurt with the constant traveling too. It probably
Yeah,
fucks up their sleep.
that's a
You
part of
know,
it.
their mental, their physical. It breaks them apart. I mean,
Yeah.
to do that for what from October to all the way to May, June. I mean, that's what 7, 8 months of just constant travel, constant just putting your body through wear and tear. Yeah, I mean, I think the NBA either has to shorten the amount of games that are played, or I mean, yeah, we're just gonna keep seeing guys miss 20, 15 plus games.
It's it's
And
it's gonna happen. It's the with the way they get it's too much. They're bigger, stronger, faster than they were 20, 30 years ago, and they're playing a much harder game because it's constantly up and down. It's just there's
yeah,
not slow anymore. You can't just walk the ball up the court.
everybody's skilled now.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the game, they play in so much space now that you constantly are covering so much
Yeah,
ground on each possession, whether you're on
yeah.
offense or defense.
All
So
5 positions.
yeah, you got to do
Because
everything.
back
So
then you would sometimes see a couple bigs just ease off a possession.
yeah,
Now the bigs are freaking running around getting
because you got to
screens too.
guard other bigs at the 3-point
Yeah.
line. Then
Yes.
and that's the difference. So these injuries are going to keep happening because of the way this game is played. So I think load management makes sense. I think if players are just sitting just to sit, that's stupid. But I think especially like I said, when guys start getting up there, once you kind of hit that 10-year mark, I think it's kind of smart to like obviously you should be playing if you're healthy, you should be playing as close to 82 as possible. But I'm not one to say like as I said, once you start hitting that 10-year mark, you should be able to start sitting some games. You should probably play if you're healthy. Let's say you're healthy all season, you should probably play 70 to 75 games for sure. But once you're, 10, 11, 12, I'm not going to blame you for sitting out,
Yeah.
a game here and there every 3 weeks or so. That makes sense because the wear and tear is going to happen. And like I said, whether I'm a fan, like as a fan, if I was a GM, if I was a coach, I want my players as healthy as possible come April through June when the playoffs are here.
Yeah.
If I have to
Uh,
lose game 47 to do it, Imma lose game 47, but I'd
yeah.
much rather lose game 47 than lose in the playoffs because I don't have,
But
one of the top 5 players on the planet.
think about that too, that aspect. You shorten the season, that means more all the games are gonna be more meaningful too.
Yeah, each game
Every
means
game
more.
will be meaning.
What I would do if they were to shorten the season, here's what I would do. I would actually change when the season starts. I would change the season. It would start, like, December sometime, and it would end in, like,
Yeah.
August. There's nothing going on in the summer but baseball.
It's
Don't and,
after that bubble season.
uh Like,
Like you remember, like, after the bubble, the
yeah, they
first game
started
was
in
on Christmas
December,
Day.
went to June.
Do you remember that? Was that season short or was that 82?
No, that season was short. That season was uh it had to be short. Well, they started in December, and I want to say they
Yeah,
ended in June, so it had to have been shortened.
yeah, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they started in December, ended in June. I think they
I'm
should
actually
start in
interested in
December
seeing.
and push. So they start in October right now and end in June. They should start in December and end in August. Um, one, I think their ratings will be better because they're not competing with the NFL in October and November. Obviously, the start of the season will be in December.
Yeah,
The NFL ends in February, and now you have all the rest of February after football. Do you have March, April, May, June, July, August for the most important like the most important time of basketball.
yeah.
Um,
See, that
and
season was reduced to 10 games.
yeah, and then you have it solely to yourself because baseball is not any competition to basketball or football right now. The reason
Nah,
basketball and football have
unless you live in LA.
even still it don't compete with
Yeah.
basketball. But
But also just like there's no basketball when the Dodgers are playing in the postseason. Well,
no,
it's in the beginning stages here at least.
yeah, it's in like the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You play until you play all the way through August, and then you start up again in December, and you have all that time. And the reason like the NFL and NBA start when it does is because at that like obviously when it was first starting, baseball was the biggest sport.
Yeah.
It's now number 3.
Yeah.
So I think there's a big chunk of change right there that obviously the NFL is not moving its time, but I think the NBA should definitely consider and think about going from December to
And
August because that time frame, all that because they're really only to compete with the NFL during December. And you can start in late December if you want to. Really only January and then like one day in February when the Super Bowl's on.
yeah.
And right, the NBA doesn't even do games on Super Bowl day, or they do it very early in the day before the Super Bowl gets on anyway. So I would
Yeah.
that's what I would do because then you only got to compete with the NBA, I mean the NFL for 1 week or 1 month, I should say, and then you got the entire time people are just focused on you solely. Um,
Yeah.
and in the summer, and I think your ratings will be even higher because in the summer there's no sports unless you're like most people are not sitting down to watch baseball in the summer.
Nah.
You got too much stuff to do, and baseball's
It's
not
hot
enter
outside.
and baseball's not entertaining enough. But
Yeah.
basketball, if you got the basketball play if the NBA finals was in the summer, which it kinda is almost, but if it was in August, it'd be your playoff numbers would be through the roof. Think about and this is it's kinda hard to measure because we were also in the bubble, but just think about how fun like that well, I mean, we were in COVID, but everybody was locked in to basketball during the bubble.
Yeah. Because I mean, we had nothing going on.
We had nothing, and to me, and now obviously there's more stuff going on where because COVID's not here anymore. But in the summer,
But
there's people still clamoring for sports in the summer, and there's nothing on. Think about the like, and that the Olympics are a little different,
I
but
was gonna say the only issue for that would be the Olympics
yeah, that would
because
be the problem
four years.
every 4 years. But even then, the Olympics don't really start until what at like basketball anyway. It
Well,
starts
it's like 2 weeks. It's only 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's not that long.
Yeah.
The only thing about it is, um, like the teams in the NBA finals probably wouldn't be able to go into the Olympics, but all you have to do, but that's something that if they just got to figure out exactly when like those Olympics, because it starts in I think it's for like August or so, like late July, August. So they can go if they wanted to, they can go into July, whatever. But I think that's something that they should consider because the summer is wide open. And I think people
Yeah.
like would clamor for some good sports.
Yeah.
Um, so that's how I feel about that. All right, our last NBA topic before we get into the Ravens. If you had to pick your 5 top NBA title contenders, who would they be?
I feel like I've already mentioned them already, but I have right now, if it started like tomorrow, I'll say the Pistons, the Cavs, the Spurs, and OKC. Am I missing somebody?
You said OKC, the Spurs, the Cavs, the Pistons. Who else?
And I said Denver.
And Denver.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, I mean, Pistons are a little bit recency bias, but I do think they're playing really good basketball right now. Um, the Cavs, I mean, I think James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, if they figure it out, considering how wide open the East is, I think the sky's the limit for them. Uh, OKC, you know, back-to-back potential. Nothing's really changed from last year, playing same way. And they added Jared McCain. I think that's going to be a big help, especially come playoff time. And Spurs, I mean, same as the Pistons, a little bit recency bias. However, I would, if I had to rank them 1 through 5, they would be my 5. Just based solely off of like inexperience. And then again, it's like you said before, is Wemby. How is Wemby going to play during the playoffs? We've never seen that. Um, and that's a big question mark on them. And then the Nuggets too. Uh, I just like the Nuggets because they have experience, and come playoff time, they're always ready to play. And Jamal Murray, Jokic, we know what they're capable of. So
I
those are
got
my 5.
okay. Uh I got the Thunder, I got the Nuggets, I got the Rockets,
Mhm.
I got the Wolves, and I got either Pistons or Celtics, and I'm kind of leaning Celtics because they got more playoff experience. Um, the Thunder, I don't think much needs to be said. They're probably the favorites for everybody to win the title this year. Um, the Nuggets, they have Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray has had his best season ever up to this point. They just got to get healthy. I think they gotta get their team because they made a whole bunch of new moves. Guys like Cam Johnson, they brought Bruce Brown back. But they haven't been able to find rhythm because everybody's been hurt. So they got to get healthy so they can get in a rhythm going into the playoffs. But I think with their playoff pedigree, they'll be fine. The Rockets, I think the Rockets they were what, the 2 seed last year. And I think they're a better team this year because they have a go to guy in the playoffs, which is what I think they were missing last year. Um, I didn't like the Rockets last year because I didn't feel like Jalen Green was consistent enough in the playoffs. Kevin Durant, we know what that dude is. If you were to build, well, I guess Wemby exists now, but if you were to build a basketball player before Wemby got here, because of what Wemby could do defensively, if you were to build a ball player from scratch, Kevin Durant's what you would build. And Kevin Durant on this Rockets team, if they got to find something to do with their point guard, that's the only thing missing. But if they can get Fred Van Vliet back, which it seems like he's trying to get back, if they get him back, they're gonna be scary in the playoffs. The other team, I got the Wolves. I think the Wolves are kind of a team that's lurking in the shadows. They've been in the Western Conference Finals, what, 2 years in a row. Um, and I think this is the year that they can really get over the hump. I honestly, I think it's too early, but I'm very close to picking the Wolves to come out of the West. Um,
Mm.
whether that's a hot take or whatnot, I like the Wolves. I think Ant-Man's at a point now where he's developed. I think the only thing that's really hurt them the past 2 years, I think the first year, which is another thing that I think that might hurt the Pistons, you don't really know how tired and how exhausting it is to get to the finals or get to the Western Conference Finals until you do it. So I think they've at a point now where they've done it the past few years. They know what kind of energy, what kind of shape they need to be in to get to make it all the way through an entire playoff run. That possibly can include the NBA Finals. But I think what's hurt them has been double teaming against Ant. When Ant's not been able to play well, obviously the Timberwolves haven't figured out a way to win. But I think what Ant has done this year, he's added more go-to moves and counter moves to his offensive package, which I think is going to hurt teams trying to double him in the playoffs. And I think he's also better at passing out of a double team, whether it's once the double team gets there, whether it's before the double team gets there. And it's just whether he just knows where to put the ball right now. So I like the way he's playing. So I got the Wolves. They're going to be I got them probably going to the NBA Finals. And the last team I'm going, I think I mentioned was going to be the Celtics. Celtics Pistons toss up. Um, and it's only a toss up if they get Jason Tatum back, I'm picking them without question. Because if they get Jason Tatum back, I don't think they have a single flaw on their team. They got playoff experience, they got go-to
But
scores,
if they
they
get
got
Jason
defense.
Tatum back, how good is Jason Tatum going to be? You think he's going to be the same Jason Tatum?
I don't think you're gonna have first team all NBA Jason Tatum, but I think in that Eastern Conference, you don't need him to be all NBA Jason Tatum. Because
Yeah,
with
I
the way
mean,
because with the way Jalen Brown is playing, Jalen Brown is arguably the MVP of the league. So with the
mm,
way Jalen Brown is playing, Jalen Brown can carry them. They just need Jason Tatum to kind of fill in those spots. I think Jason Tatum, even if he's not, uh, let's say he's not. Granted, I don't think me personally, I don't think he's gonna come back at all. But it seems like he's adamant on coming back. So if that does happen, even if we say he's 80%, 85% of what he was last year, I think if he averages 25-5 or 19-5-5, that's enough to get, in my opinion, to get the Celtics out of to get the Celtics all the way to the NBA Finals. because Jaylen Brown is averaging pretty much 30. You got what Peyton Pritchard's doing. Derek White's still the same. And you got a bunch of other guys coming in and doing work. So I don't think he has to do much in this Eastern Conference. There's not a team out there that I think can beat them if Jason Tatum comes back. I just don't think they have enough. We're going to see what the Pistons to me would be the only team, but I don't think the Pistons come in a playoff series have enough scoring to beat the Celtics. I think the Celtics can clamp them up and they can also score on the Pistons. I don't think the Pistons.
You don't think the Cavs would match up well with the Celtics?
No. The Celtics. I mean, the Cavs are gonna have to prove it to me. I do think the Cavs are better, but I've seen the Cavs since they had Donovan Mitchell. They haven't done anything, and I've seen James Harden, and and I think James Harden can do it. I think he's too good of a player not to be able to do it. But what we've seen is James Harden in the biggest moments, and it's unfortunate because I think if he ultimately doesn't get an NBA championship, it's all people are going to talk about. But what we've
Mm,
seen is in the biggest games, he hasn't been himself in the playoffs. We've seen
no.
games where in which he has looked like himself. We talk about when he was with Joel Embiid against the Celtics, and he has what a 40 ball in game one. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But in game seven, he no shows, unfortunately. Um, and there's no really other way to spin it because he did not play well in that game seven. But I think it's in him to do it. But for me, it's like when you've seen something so many times, at this point, he's the Cavs and James Harden just got to show me that they can get over that hump because
Yeah.
it's been too long now.
Yeah.
So, and I think if you run into a team with playoff experience, I think for me, for the Cavs, I think they if they have to run into the Celtics, they lose. I think everybody else they have a chance at beating. But if they run into a team with playoff experience like that, I think they're going to lose again.
I think on paper they match up really well, but like you said,
Yeah,
it's
of course they
completely
do.
different. Experience has to do a lot come playoff time, but I don't know. They on paper I mean, yeah, their two bigs in the back are good. They obviously have James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, and what's his name?
Tyson.
Yeah, like that starting five is like they should honestly like I don't know. I'm saying they're honestly I want to say like what you said about the T Wolves. That's them for me in the East.
Um, but are you picking them to come out of the East?
Huh?
But would you pick them to come out of the East?
What happened?
But you're picking them to come out of the East.
I mean, if that's my early pick, yeah.
I want to see it. I hope so. Again, I think as you said on paper they have all the pieces, but they had all the pieces last year, and they had what the best record in basketball, and they get bounced now. Obviously, Garland got hurt in the playoffs and whatnot, but they get bounced down in the second round, and it's just they got to prove it. I still haven't seen Evan. I need Evan Mobley. I haven't seen Evan Mobley take that jump yet either, which I believe he needs to take. He needs to be a better version of what he has been in the playoffs. He's got to be better because he's too talented not to.
Yeah.
And to me, he's
But
the key. I think everybody's going to talk about Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. I think obviously they got to play well, but
yeah.
I think Evan Mobley, his impact has to be in order for them to win. His impact has to be felt in any. I don't in any game his presence is not felt. I don't think they win. He has to be felt in the playoff series for them to come out against these top teams.
Not fair. Yeah. I mean, it's consistency at the end of the day.
And with the way it's shaking, if they end up, what seed are they? I think they're what fourth right now. They're
I
fourth
think
right now.
they're
So
yeah.
if with the way it's going, they would play the winner of the 1-8 game, which would likely we would assume would be the Detroit Pistons, which means they'd have to play the Pistons in round two they're probably after having to play either the Sixers or the Raptors probably in round one if they were having to beat them. They got to go beat the Pistons, and then you probably got to go beat either the Knicks or the Celtics in the conference final. So
Yeah. I
they
mean,
have a gauntlet. As you said, they got the roster to do it, but we're gonna see if they got so in the playoffs. It comes down a little bit more than just roster. You got to have that. There's obviously some luck goes into it, but you got to just have a
but
team that.
I think their problem's going to be defense in with Harden and Mitchell.
I think they got enough defense. They got obviously Jared Allen. He's kind of tough. Jared Allen's kind of tough to play like in the closing minutes. But I think that's when, as I mentioned, this is where Evan Mobley's supposed to be. You drafted Evan Mobley was what the second or third pick in the draft. This is where we drafted you to be special. We need you to go out there and play center in the final 5 minutes of a ball game and be dominant down there.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell plays good defense. He's just like a shorter guard, but most teams have smaller guards. So you put him on them. Jordan Tyson. Uh,
Well,
uh,
I think teams will attack James Harden.
yeah, they will. But we've seen James Harden. James Harden can play defense when he wants to. That's the difference.
That's the issue, though.
When he wants to, he can play defense. I find for the most part in the playoffs, he's always pleased. He's always given efforts. We'll see. That's the difference between like him and like Luca. Um, and I will say he's giving more effort this year. Even when he tries, Luka's not necessarily a great defender. We've seen when James Harden tries, he can be a very good defender.
Yeah.
So I think that's a bonus. And then, like I said, you got those two guys on the back end, and you have Tyson. So, um, and they traded for Keon Ellis, which is more defense coming off the bench. They traded for Dennis Schroeder, more defense off the bench. Um, so they got talent. I do on paper they're fantastic. It's just gonna see can they get over that playoff hump.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, that's my 5 title contenders.
Yeah.
Uh,
Solid. I mean, I think for the most part, we have like 3, 4, 5, or sorry, 3, 4 teams that are the same.
yeah, that would be mine. Um, the Wolves being my hot take, low key. It's not really a hot take because I truly believe that. I just don't think many other people see the Wolves coming out.
Yeah.
But I think that's gonna help the Wolves, them kinda being they've been in the Western Conference Finals the past 2 years, and their team is pretty much still the same, and nobody's talking about them as possibly being in the Western Conference
Yeah.
Finals. I like them. Alright, so that's been hoops. Now, we can close this thing out talking about, the Baltimore Ravens, Marlon.
Mhm.
Um, a poor end to the season, obviously, they don't get into the playoffs. Um, did you also see the NFL just came back and said that the Isaiah
Yeah,
Like
the Steelers game?
Yeah, that the Isaiah Likely play should have been a touchdown.
Yep.
Why do they do that? It just makes them look so bad. Why just
Uh,
even if that is true, they're better off lying and just saying it wasn't like they should have
yeah.
with the ruling because you saying it now is just poor.
I mean, I thought it was very evident, like, y that his he obviously has possession of the ball, he lands with his 2 feet, he makes a football move. I mean, then and there, it should have been clear that that was a touchdown, but, you know, classic NFL, you know?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But now the Ravens in the offseason, it seems like Isaiah Likely is not going to be a part of this team anymore. Um,
No.
seem they've got to get Lamar Jackson on some kind. They got to get him on some kind of extension because his
Mhm.
cap hit is very high this year. So they got to be able to get it down.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is by getting a contract extension. So I think that's got to be priority number one for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
And two, for me personally, I would love to see them go and get a pass rusher
Yeah.
and a
Me too.
receiver, but they gotta let me say this. They gotta there's 2 needs there's 2 things that they have to fix. Falele, he need to come sit on the couch with us,
Yeah.
and they gotta go
They're
get
better off with me playing fucking right tackle.
and they gotta go get like a Max Crosby, some kind of player. Because while I think
Yeah.
the secondary needs help, I think the secondary also looks so bad because they have to cover for 100 years back there
Yeah.
because they couldn't get any pressure.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I know for a fact that, our GM, Eric DaCosta, he's, like, came out and said, like, the priority for him is right now, trying to get a good, like, a deal with Lamar. Uh, I think it's gonna be, like, friendly to both sides because, like, I think obviously we need pieces, and Lamar obviously wants to get paid still, but and he well deserved, but, yeah, I'm interested to see how that works out, but yeah, like you said before, pass rusher and wide receiver's always been a need here in Baltimore because
Mhm.
I don't know why, but they always like to get, like, the big name wide receiver that's no longer that guy anymore,
They,
but still has that shades of being that guy here and there. Um, and then the pass rusher, I mean, as a Ravens fan, I'm used to seeing good defense, and this year was the worst one of the worst years I've ever seen, on defense, especially when it came to pass rushing. Um, I think we had a lot of guys out this year too in the D line, but we didn't have that, that guy that made a difference, like the year before with Kyle Van Noy had like 13 and a half sacks. And unfortunately he was hurt a bunch of games this year and he also didn't play. I mean, he's also up in age. But yeah, we just need that guy. I mean, I hear a lot of Max Crosby rumors. I don't know how realistic that deal would be. but with the draft come in,
I think it could be
it's
done.
either
I mean, they're saying that they want 2 first round picks and a premium player. I think some of that is just them trying to, ask for a lot, um, just so they can make sure they don't get lowballed. But if I was Baltimore, without question, I'd give up a first, 2 firsts for Max Crosby
yeah. Yeah, I would do it in a heartbeat. Like,
in a heartbeat.
Mac Crosby is one of those guys,
That's exactly what you need.
in terms of wide receiver, I mean, yeah, I think to me that's the second priority. Zay Flowers is a good second option,
I agree.
but if they could get like a AJ Brown,
Um,
um,
I've
that would be like,
I've been saying this since they drafted Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is my favorite player in the whole world, and what I think the Ravens have fallen in the trap of is that we've seen Lamar Jackson be Superman, and so when they're building this
yeah,
team, they're like, "Oh, we know Lamar can be Superman," but I think what they fail to realize is that's something you want to keep in your back pocket. You don't want him to have to be Superman all the time because what happens when
yeah,
he's not Superman? They lose,
yeah.
and I think what'll help, what really, and like
And
when you talk about all
it's
the
funny
super,
because
go
when
ahead.
he's not Superman or he doesn't have to be, it's in Derrick Henry's hand. And when Derrick Henry fumbled a couple, like 3, 4 times this year, where it changed the game and we
But
ended
yeah,
up losing.
if he doesn't fumble in Buffalo, you guys are in the playoffs.
Well, yeah,
But like when you talk about all the superstar quarterbacks, you talk about in pretty much in the history of the NFL. Aaron Rodgers had prime Devontae Adams. Not to mention that receiving core he had, with Jordy Nelson,
Jordy
Michael
Nelson,
Driver, Greg Jennings, and all them.
Randall Cobb,
Tom Brady had Gronk and Randy Moss. Patrick Mahomes had prime Tyreek Hill, prime Travis Kelsey. Josh Allen had Stephon Diggs for multiple years. Joe Burrow obviously got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. When you talk about all the top quarterbacks, they all have that guy. When you look at Lamar, who does he have?
Zay Flowers, Marquise Hollywood Brown.
Mark Andrews, like, and saying these guys are solid players, but none of them, not one of those 3 guys, are anywhere close to being mentioned about going to the Hall of Fame. Everybody I just named for these other quarterbacks, Jamar Chase, I think if Jamar Chase retired today, he'd go to the Hall of Fame. But obviously, as long as he don't get injured, he's going to continue on that pace. Uh, Tyreek Hill is going to the Hall of Fame. Travis Kelsey is going to the Hall of Fame. Obviously, Randy Moss is already in the Hall of Fame. Gronk is going to the Hall of Fame. Devontae Adams will be in the Hall of Fame when he retires. All these guys that these quarterbacks have had, Lamar Jackson hasn't had that benefit of playing.
Yeah, and
Now he's
we've
had
seen what
Derrick
X
Henry, who's going to go to the Hall of Fame. Team, you can't run your way to a Super Bowl anymore. As
you
good
need
as
an X factor wide receiver.
yeah, as good as Derrick Henry is, like, I don't think Derrick Henry can run. I don't think anybody can. Saquon did it, but even then, but at some point, you need guys to come and make plays. And for
Yeah,
Saquon, it was a little bit easier because you still had, even if you loaded the box. Now Jalen Hurts is playing one on one with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and Goddard. So now
yeah,
it pick your poison. If they load the box against Lamar, he's throwing to Zay Flowers, which again, Zay Flowers is solid. He's a good receiver. Don't get me wrong, but he's not AJ Brown, and I think that's what Lamar has been missing, and they've yet to give it to him. And he's going
yeah.
into what year? What, 9, 8 or 9 now?
If I worked for the Ravens organization, I would tell them, like, look at the last, let's see, like 7, 8 Super Bowl champs.
Yep, all had a
You
number one
can
receiver.
yep, you would say there's been an X factor wide receiver for every champ the
Yep,
last 7, 8 years.
yeah.
JSN
And
this
for the
year.
people that like to be critical, yes, we're just talking about pass catchers. So Travis Kelsey counts. Even when Tyreek left, Travis Kelsey was still elite.
Yeah, and
Because
I love Mark Andrews, but
I said that one
he's
time, and somebody mentioned the Chiefs, and I said they had Kelsey. He said, "Well, you just said receiver. You know what the hell I meant."
oh yeah, we'll say pass catcher to be more technical.
Yeah,
But and I love Mark Andrews, but he's nowhere near Travis Kelsey.
nowhere near. Not in the same.
Um,
Not in anywhere in the same stratosphere.
and yeah, I mean, you look at you said Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, uh, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill. Or did I just say that Tyreek Hill?
Yeah.
And I mean,
I mean, think
Brady
about
got
it.
away with it
Yep.
without like
Rams won. They had Cooper Cup. He had the greatest receiving
Cooper
season of
Cup.
all time.
Yeah,
The team they played in that game had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
yeah.
All
The
these,
Niners had that little duo
yeah, the Niners had
of
Debo
Debo
and
and
Ayuk
Ayuk.
and
Yeah,
Kittle and
and
McCaffrey.
Kid. Yeah,
Now that's now, like, I don't think Debo Ayuk was, because Ayuk was cooking, so he was playing at a top receiver level. But that's also, even even if you don't want to consider him on that level of Jamar Chase or whatnot, them as a whole, that offense as a whole was unstoppable because you got McCaffrey in the backfield. You got Ayuk, you got Debo, you got Kittle, you got Trent Williams.
Yeah.
George Kittle probably going to the Hall of Fame. McCaffrey
And
probably going to the Hall of Fame. Trent Williams probably going to the Hall of Fame.
you mentioned like again, the Ravens have all that. They have all the pieces on everywhere else except wide receivers. That's
Yep.
like the one thing that's always been missing.
Yep. They've refused.
Granted, this year maybe couple guards, couple guys in the pass rush, but wide receiver, I think that's the one that's always consistently missing.
Yeah, that one's always been missing.
But yeah, I mean, I would love AJ Brown and Max Crosby. How realistic they are, it's probably unrealistic considering the Ravens never really make a trade for big guys because they don't typically like to give up a lot. Um, but in this case, I think if you want to keep Lamar and you want to win with Lamar, you got to like make that move now.
Yeah. Go like yeah, go give Lamar some help. Both sides of the ball. I let the chips fall where they may. That's how I feel about the Ravens. But yeah, I
Because
think
at this point, he's just wasting his time in his career.
well, yeah, it also seems like and I'll tell you, if he doesn't sign an extension, it seems like he is gonna leave.
Yeah, I mean,
If the season gets
for
here and
sure.
if he did gets here in the season, he doesn't have an extension, he's not gonna be a Baltimore Raven.
And he he
Much longer.
hints he hints at Miami a lot because he's from there.
Yeah,
So
he's from there.
I think if we don't play our cards right, I think that's where he's gonna end up eventually.
I think he would. You know where I think there's a better fit than Miami. You know where he should go if
The
he's leaving
Rams.
Baltimore? No, not the Rams.
Trying to think what the Jets or the nah, not the Jets. What?
The Atlanta Falcons.
Oh yeah,
You put him
but
with Bijan. They just franchise tag Kyle Pitts. They got Drake London. Darnell Mooney is a solid wide receiver too.
that'd be like a middle finger to him though, because they could have got him and they didn't do shit.
Yeah, but
And they,
at that time, they still had Matt Ryan, so it makes sense. But
no, but you don't you want to get Lamar Jackson, bro? Come on,
yeah, but they still obviously yeah. But you should they still had Matt Ryan. He was because that was what the 2018 class.
Lamar?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were 2018. Yeah, what Atlanta was coming off of the Super Bowl in what 2016. So that was only 2 years. That was only what
No, I'm saying
2 years.
they could have got well, they could have got Lamar when he was a free agent.
Yeah, well, yes. I mean, but it's hard because he was like he's like a restricted free agent in NBA terms.
Yeah,
So you have to give up like
they set the floor
yeah.
for us, but yeah, this year, I mean, as long as we have Lamar Jackson, it's Super Bowl or bust, you know.
Oh yeah, well, you got one of them quarterbacks Super Bowl or bust, but yeah, that's how I'm feeling about the Baltimore Ravens. Oh, one more thing before we get out of here, Marlon. Bro, you hear that new J.
Yo,
Cole album?
nah, but
Uh,
he was
you know, yeah,
he
he was at Fox Hills.
he was
And he
at
was over
Fox
here
Hill
at
signing
UCLA.
CDs and shit.
Yeah. Were you at work?
Nah, huh?
Were you at work?
I was at work and
Did
he
you
was in the parking lot and
did
like
you
he
walk
passed
out
by.
there?
Nah, he passed by my car though. He like literally was on the other side. I
Yeah,
seen my car in the video.
there you go.
Yeah. But nah, I haven't had the time to listen to like I've been listening to other stuff and like I just forgot he dropped an album.
J. Cole, bro, that dude, when you talk about just like when you take people's feelings out of it, bro, that dude, that as a rapper, bro, that dude is elite.
I love J. Cole, but I love seeing J. Cole like hate or like memes. Like it's
It is
funny.
f- m- it is when you talk about like people rapping right now, it is him and Kendrick and everybody else.
I mean, in terms of like rapping,
Yeah,
that's a lot of good
yeah,
guys.
music is art, so like everybody has their preference, and like what they like want to listen to, and that's fine. But you talk about just who's the best rapper.
Like lyrical,
Like, yeah,
lyrical
when you
geniuses
take into all of that, just they are the two best rappers.
right now.
Yeah, without question.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I love that type of rap, but it's not my forte anymore. Maybe like if you ask me in high school, I'd be like, fuck yeah. But like now my music taste has changed and I still enjoy that. Like I still go back to it and revisit like a J. Cole or Kendrick song. And like I usually never skip a song of them. But
Yeah. So what? So what's your music taste now, bruh?
you know me, I dabble in a little bit of everything now, bro. I like house music. I like
That's what I was waiting for. You like house music.
that EDM.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. It's chill. Like, like if you're working out, I like listening into working out because like you really feel like the BPM, like you feel that like energy. It's high energy music, you know.
Nah,
Like,
bro,
I I think it's an acquired taste. I will say that, like,
without question.
you got to really immerse yourself in that. But that, obviously music in Spanish, and the new albums I listen to are actually A$AP Rocky. I don't know if you've listened to that.
No, never really listened to A$AP Rocky like that.
It's okay, like, I liked it, like, it's not his best work. Brent Faiyaz, I don't know if you listen to the new Brent Faiyaz.
I haven't listened to his new album, but yes, I listened to Brent Faiyaz.
New album's pretty solid too. I wouldn't say his best work either. Bros in Love for sure. Like,
Hey
it's
man,
not like it's toxic.
that boy's happy.
And
You
then
need to find that love. You need to find that spark, bro.
I do. Uh, who else did I listen to? Oh, like Baby Keem. I
Oh,
started
Baby
listening to
Keem's
Baby
hard.
Keem out. Um, don't he had a couple good songs. I like the one with Kendrick in it actually.
Yeah.
Um,
I've only heard the Kendrick song. I didn't listen to the whole album, but Baby Keem is a fantastic artist.
and then there was somebody else. There's been a lot of drops this year actually. I listened to Don Toliver's album. I like Don Toliver a lot, so um, he's more like a vibe guy. Like he's like a guy you listen to like you're on a late night drive, and I don't know.
And
I thought
I
his
don't
album was
all my
solid.
music I mean, like, when my favorite artists drop, I'll pump their new stuff, but a lot of like, I listen to all, like, old music, like, not necessarily, like, granted, I do have it, like, 90s and stuff, but, like, I'll listen to all, like, the Cole like, J. Cole like, Forest Hills Drive, Born Sinner, Kendrick from that
Yeah,
time, like,
those are classics.
I pretty much listen to all the same music I listened to in, like, middle school and high school and then add on.
Yeah,
But even in middle school and high school, like, I listened to, like, those artists, like, whatever they was dropping at that point, and then I listened to, like, older stuff, 2000s, 90s, and I'm still the same way.
you're just an older soul. That's what you
Yeah,
are.
I am old soul.
'Cause yeah, I remember like we'd listen to those guys, but we'd also would listen to like a lot of '90s. Like
Yeah.
we'd listen to like fucking Tupac,
Yeah, I'm an old
uh,
because, like, growing
like
up, that's all like, in the
NWA.
house, I hear all the old stuff, and then, like, we get in the
Yeah,
car, and then, like, whatever's on the radio and stuff like that is, like, all the
yeah,
newer stuff. That's where the mix comes from, but yeah, so I still listen to this like, the same thing the whole time, like I said, since Cole
and
dropped,
no,
I've only listened to the Cole album on, like, repeat pretty much, but
yeah,
my artists, I pretty much stick to Cole, Rod Wave, and Kendrick. That's pretty much what I play
yeah.
consistently.
But yeah, you fucking you Broadway for sure.
Rod Wa oh, yeah, you we could just go to Apple Music and press shuffle on Rod Wave, I know, like, every damn song.
I don't know how, bro.
But Rod Wave is hard, bruh.
I don't know how.
It's the bro. He's in like his own like music lane. It's like soul meets rap meets like it's fire, bro. Meets gospel. It's that ghetto gospel, bro.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not there. I don't know. It's not mine. I don't hate it, but
Yeah, you like house
I,
music,
hey, bro, you like a little good, get groovy, bro. You get groovy with fucking house music.
bro. House music just no, bro. I don't want nothing to do with it.
It's chill.
Not really.
It's vibey, bro.
I'm just
Like,
like, what the hell am I listening to? Let's put on some music with substance.
bro, there's a story in everything.
No, I like substance. There's no substance in house music.
You know, you could dance to it, bro. Dance,
I
make
can
a
dance
story with your
I can
dance.
dance to, like, the Cupid Shuffle.
Oh yeah. Oh, the house music is like I said. It's more for the vibes. Like it's more happier. It gets you going. You can
You
listen
gotta
to a
move your
party.
muscle.
Um, but like, yeah, man. I mean, if you're out at a party and you don't know what to play, like, just play some house music, man.
Hell no. We ain't not playing no damn house music, bruh.
'Cause it's good. Like you could talk over it too. Like there's no lyrics really. Like most of the time, there's no.
Yeah, I don't wanna just listen to sound, like, it could just be quiet for all I care.
I think you're getting cows confused with like fucking techno. Like there's different variations of
It's
it.
all the same.
No, it's not.
Bro, it's all the same, bruh.
Techno is like more in your face. Like
It's all the same, bro.
I'm gonna play some house music for you when I see you, bro.
You and Eric can keep that.
We'll keep it. We're gonna play that shit out of keep it actually
Show not.
the whole time.
Show not. I'm controlling the damn speakers.
But shit, hopefully not some Rod Wave.
I'll for sure have some Rod Wave on.
No, bro.
Yeah.
No.
Bro, I don't understand how you could not like Rod Wave. You
How
ain't
could you like Rod
you
Wave
just
is a better question.
well, I can understand why you don't like it actually because again, you like to listen to you just like listen to sound and shit. You don't like
No, I don't.
oh,
I like lyrical rap from time to time.
no, you just like sound. You
I like Drake. Hopefully Drake drops an album soon.
Yeah, I mean Drake's fine, but
Nah, Drake's
I
Drake's the
really
GOAT.
but I only like Drake's music from like 20 like I want to say like I like some songs from Scorpion and some songs from uh what's that album? What's the album with the song title Girls Want Girls?
Uh, Certified Lover Boy.
Yeah, I like some songs from CLB. I like some song from Scorpion, but for the most part, I really only like Kendrick from like Nothing Was the Same and before that. I mean, Drake from like Nothing Was the Same to before that.
Mm.
I don't like Iceman. I don't think I'm gonna like it at all. I think I already know I'm not gonna like it. For All the Dogs, couldn't care less about it. Uh,
Mm.
what other albums had he put out? I wasn't a fan of like what was the album with One Dance?
Muse.
Views, yeah, I couldn't care for Views. I'm like, I don't want to hear him singing on the mic, bro. Like, if I wanted to hear you sing, like, if I wanted to hear somebody
So
sing, I'm
you
gonna put,
want a lyrical Drake.
I'm gonna put some, yeah, yeah. That's what, yeah.
You want some
I like
bars.
when Jake is like when Drake is out there trying to rap. I like that. If I wanted to hear you sing, bro, I would
I
have put
think on
on some
this album he's
Usher, some
probably
Chris
gonna
Brown.
be rapping a lot because he's got a lot of fucking heads to go after.
I think me personally, and it would be the right choice. I think he need to stay in his own lane, or he need to pick on somebody his own size. He don't need to come at Kendrick
Well, I
anymore.
think he's
He need
gonna
to
go
leave.
after Kendrick. He's gonna
Oh,
go
he no,
after Rocky.
he need to leave that alone.
He's gonna go after Rocky. He's probably gonna go after like Future and like The Weeknd.
See, he need to leave that alone.
Uh,
This is a battle that he can't win. His rap skills are not good enough for that.
Probably like Pusha T again, Pharrell.
Like he makes good music and he makes music for people to like vibe to and dance to. When it comes to him trying to like beef and battle, he don't make music for that. Every battle he gets into, he's lost. He lost
I
to
don't
Booker
know.
T.
Meek
He
Mill.
lost to Dot. This is not his that's not his lane, and that's okay. Not everybody's like that. Like some basketball players are fantastic basketball players, but they're not great one-on-one players. He is not great in one-on-one competition in a rap game. That is not his forte.
I think a lot of his bars fly over people's head.
It doesn't fly. I don't think so. I don't like. It's just there's a certain edge and like rawness that you got to have when it comes to a battle, and he does not have it. Especially against the top against the top guys,
Yeah, I mean,
because most of those top guys also came from like you got to come from it, like come from them, like. And he ain't about that.
yeah, he's also the least lyrical out of those big
Yeah, and
three.
that's what I'm saying. Like he makes fantastic like he makes good music. He makes music that people can vibe to and all that stuff. But when it comes to trying to pick up
Late night drive music.
exactly, but when it comes to like trying to pick a battle, he like no, you got especially against the top guys. Like I said, if he wants to challenge somebody like he could probably beat Little Pump in a in a battle, but Dot, like Cole, granted, like Cole, obviously, I don't think Cole really cares enough. Like I think Cole's fine with a rap battle, but if it's personal, I don't think he cares that much. Um, but yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with Drake. So I think he should say nothing about Kendrick. He does not want any more of that smoke.
Yeah, I mean, also they just got to close that fucking chapter. I'm tired of that shit.
I mean, me personally, I like it because it brought some more. It brought fantastic music, especially from Kendrick. But I think, what I do think though, in terms of that, is how people like to like change the narrative. Like, um, people react in terms of like what they want to see happen. Like people say Cole is no longer in the top three because they're mad he doesn't because they want Cole to respond and they mad he won't respond. So they want to say like Cole is not as good of a rapper as they know he is. Like you can't take away his ability in the rap game because he won't do what you want him to do. That's his life.
Yeah,
He ain't got to say nothing back.
yeah. I mean,
And
he didn't even say
that
anything
annoys me
wrong.
for sure because I just
He wasn't even part of the beef.
no he just no. And I think what he
I think this
realized
whole
was
beef
and
shit
like
also
I said
it got blown out of proportion. I think like Kendrick was just being like, a rapper, and
I
he was
think
just
Kendrick
saying
actually
he
does
was just
not.
saying
I
like,
think Kendrick,
I'm the best, and like,
yeah.
Drake took that the
I
wrong
think,
way.
yeah. I think there was legitimate beef between him and Drake, and I just don't think we necessarily knew it was like that. But that was like I think
Well, he said, "Fuck
When
the big
Cole
three, it's just big me."
when Cole dropped. Well, yeah, but see, he went in, but he went. But that like when that was like the shot at Cole saying, "I'm just a better rapper," which is why I think Cole responded And then Cole realized that like Drake and Kendrick got beef. Like I'm fine doing like going back and forth and just rapping, but I don't got beef the way y'all got beef. So he was like, I ain't in this. But Kendrick went in on Drake, and that's the only thing he said about Cole was, F the big three. It's just Big Me saying I'm the best rapper. Right? No big three. He went in on Drake, and and
Like
and and he just wanted Drake, and he wanted Drake to
like
just
he wanted, like yeah.
and he wanted Drake to just bite off, and Drake went out and chose the wrong way. He should have just let it go.
Yeah.
Kendrick was ready.
I mean, a lot of people consider rap a sport. I mean, it's obviously not like a sport, but like
Yeah,
just the way like how the competitiveness to it.
that's the problem.
Yeah. And
And
it's normal.
that's
Those
the
guys
thing.
have egos.
At its core, it was like it started in battle rap. So at its core, it was like a one on one competition. But at the when you get to the pinnacle of it, where Kendrick and Cole and Drake are, it's not a sport; it's art. And that's why I say like all those people they wanted Cole to do what like they want Cole to argue and do all that stuff because that's what they want to see that happen. Which so
Mhm.
they then take it out on Cole and saying he's not good because he didn't give them what they wanted. Um,
Yeah.
but that wasn't in his heart to do that. So yeah, people got to get over it.
Yeah. So we'll
Because
see. Hopefully.
When Cole gets on a track, when all of these features he's done, he's had the best bar, the best verse on all these tracks, whether it's with Drake, whether it's with Young Thug, whoever it's with. He's bodied all these dudes on tracks.
A fair take. Thank you for having me, man.
Yes, sir. We locked in, bro. Stop missing appointments, bro.
Nah, I'll be here more often than not.
Yeah, bro. Chat. We on Wednesdays, bro. Well, we record on Wednesdays. He gonna be here. He need to be here. That dude be
Yeah,
lagging it. That dude be
I
lagging
need
it.
to get a better camera so the quality could be better
Yeah, that too, Chad. We gonna get him a
and a
better. We gonna
mic.
get him a better camera for
Hey,
sure.
chat, give
We gonna
me
have him
a
upgrade his
chat, give
internet as
me
well.
a mic and a camera, chat, please. I need that.
So, yeah, we gonna get and some Wi-Fi.
All right, bro.
We're gonna upgrade bro's Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
All right, but thank y'all for staying with us for
All
Getting
right
Buckets
then.
episode 18. We listed our best 5 NBA title contenders. We got talked about the Ravens, talked about our biggest NBA surprise, the biggest NBA disappointment, tanking and load management. Yeah, man, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure y'all share. Other than that, that's been a wrap on Getting Buckets. Catch y'all next week.
All right.